everybody, it's me, Ghost Bunny, and today I'm going to be reading KinnPorsche. We are currently on chapter 13, so yeah, I'm so excited. This book has been absolutely amazing. Just mwah. I get why so many people really enjoyed the drama. Um, because the story itself was quite a good read. I do know there was a lot of drama with the author, pero I'm reading the book, okay? If you guys don't want to support the author because of reasons, you could just support me instead. That sounded so stupid. Just kidding. Just unless but yeah, just wanting to say that at least I personally have been enjoying the book. So yeah, you guys probably don't want me to continue yap, but also you just do want to hear me yap. But let me just give my typical disclaimer. Since I have no affiliations with Seven Seas. I have no affiliations with Beyond Cloud, with the author, with nobody. There's not an official audiobook. This is just gal pals having fun, just reading some books together, and yeah, nothing official. I don't know if KinnPorsche has an official audiobook, but if so, then give them their proper credits and just support. My second disclaimer is that I am not a native Thai speaker. I am currently trying to learn the Thai language. It's going interesting. I'm just really bad with tones. No, like I'm not lying. I'm just it's very tone deaf. Pero beyond that, yeah, I'm not trying to make fun of the Thai language. So if I make mistakes with certain names or words, it's not me trying to make fun of it. It's just I'm really bad at it. And three, even though I do speak English, when it comes to reading, it just doesn't translate well. Like it just seems because I keep stumbling on words like a bazillion times. So yeah. So if you guys like a little yap session, a little read along, then come on. So let's begin. Chapter 13, Premonition. By the way, anytime I don't see the POV written on top, I'm just gonna assume it's Porsche's POV because if you haven't been following along, if you have been following along, you'd realize that the POV changes depending on the chapter, but they will say like Kinn's POV when if it's Kinn. Porsche, so just assume it's Porsche. So now let's begin. This man is their family's current favorite, a deep-voiced man said as the teenager in front of him lit a cigarette. Especially for Mr. Kinn, sir. He seems fearless, very self-assured. So, how does Kinn feel about him? The teenager asked. A wisp of white smoke escaped his full lips and diffusing throughout the room. It's exactly what you think, the man answered, pursing his lips together and averting his gaze, as if the thought bothered him. He has good taste this time, don't you think? The young man said, his voice slightly raspy. Well, he's your type, isn't he? A straight man? The man in the suit replied, glancing in concern at the young man in front of him. This teenager had all the appearance of a perfectly decent and friendly individual. However, hidden under the surface was a cruel, heartless bastard. The ones I managed to fuck behind him were usually annoying, he sneered, tapping the end of his cigarette on the glass ashtray. He knew the kinds of guys Kinn preferred, the ones he made arrangements with for his nighttime activities, and he liked to contact them first and defile them before they ever met Anakin. It was always easy enough to persuade them to have, sex, even if money was on the table. The fact that he could orchestrate this behind Kinn's back, on the other hand, well, gave him immense satisfaction. If Kinn ever discovered he'd been having his sloppy seconds this entire time, he'd be furious. What are you planning to do next? The man in the suit inquired. Kinn wants him, right? The young man asked, sounding triumphant. In my opinion, yeah, he wants him. The other man replied, his brow furrowing as if to emphasize his conviction. Even if Kinn isn't interested, well, I still want him. You know my preference as well. Yeah? He was attracted to men and preferred taking the dominant role. However, petite, feminine men never appealed to him. He preferred men with robust, masculine bodies. His lips curved into a twisted grin as he recalled the first time he saw the man. From the moment he laid eyes on him, he was intrigued by his tough, arrogant demeanor. Just tell me what you'd like me to do, the man in the black suit replied, seemingly irritated by what he just heard. He sighed and shot another glance at the young man across from him. Keep a close eye on him. See what he's up to, the young man said. I want you to observe Kin's attitude towards him, too. You know, the more Kin wants that man, the more I want him for myself. Ooh. Anakin's desire for something fueled his need to have it first. He would do anything to gain the upper hand at Anakin. His resentment for what Kin did to him was carved deep into his heart, and he had sworn to do anything that would make Kin and his family suffer. Yes, sir, the man acknowledged weirdly. Although he could not really see the appeal of this new man, he saw it as an opportunity to, finally distance himself from his boss, that bastard Kin. He despised him. Now, let's talk business. I've arranged the route for our next delivery. Just let me know whatever, you're ready. Take myself alternative routes. I want to deliver a larger shipment than last time. Considering the police seem to be slacking off lately, they continue discussing their clandestine business plans for a while before leaving the meeting place, which they rented out specifically for the occasion. Here they gave each other updates on their mutual enemies and discussed various covert business operations. By the way, that entirely was the first time in human history they didn't write the POV and it wasn't Porsche's POV. Thank goodness there was never like, I said this or I said that. That would have been awkward. But first time we're under Kim. We were in Kim's POV. Well, I felt very sexy. But now we're in Porsche's POV. Porsche's POV. Damn it, Porsche! You're creeping me out. Get off me! Tem yelled, flinching away as I rested my chin on his shoulder and breathed down his neck. It's only for a second, I replied nonchalantly. We sat on a wooden bench on the ground floor of our college building, and I was testing out a theory. Tem lurched away from me, looking terrified. John, something's wrong with Porsche. Tem complained loudly. Tem, I miss you, baby. I also miss John. Where have you been, Lucas? Tem complained loudly to John, who was munching on a skewer sausage. Get off! Tem cried again, trying to push my face off his shoulder. You've got it bad, Porsche. What's bothering you? Pete asked from the opposite side of the bench. He decided to come with me to university today against my own free will because I've lost that a long time ago. He was so adamant about blending in that he wore the same shirt and black slacks students had to wear. He wore the school uniform and everything. Was he doing some kinky role play? Maybe. I'm not. I just want to know how it makes you feel, Tem, I replied, shoving Tem's hand away from my face. Tem quickly got up and moved to sit next to Pete instead. The two were already well acquainted, having gotten drunk and danced together during Tankun's impromptu haynak the other night. The party. Oh wait, haynak procession. Yeah, we'll need a little party, extra party. When I'd informed my friends that Pete wanted to come along to check our college girls, they hadn't needed any further instructions. Asshole, how do you feel when someone sucks your neck? It's the same thing, you fuck ass! Tim exclaimed, his expression changing from horrified to sarcastic as he gestured at my neck. Hey! I quickly covered the bandages on my neck with my hand. Don't look. I put bandages on each side to cover up all the bruises. Damn you, Kin! Who gave you all those hickeys? John asked, pointing the skewer at me. What hickeys? I only put these bandages on because they look cool. Yeah, definitely that's the case. I believe you, Porsche. I believe in you. I said, feigning annoyance at my friends. I nervously bounced my left leg under the table, my mood beginning to sour. Guys, only I'm supposed to point out your shit, not you point at me. That's so rude. Tam frowned at me. Cut the bullshit, Porsche. What's wrong with you? You've been in a bad mood lately. It's nothing, I said. I tried to suppress my reaction, but Pete kept giving me that knowing smile of his. What the hell is your problem? I asked Pete. Um, Better question. What's your problem? Come on, spit it out. You're acting strange and it's making us worry. Sing, little canary, sing, baby. Pete said, looking intensely at me as if searching for something. Both of my friends asked Pete what he meant, and he quickly told them that I had groped arm's crotch and challenged him to play a strange game. Just shut up. Since when do you swing that way? Tom asked. You don't need to be ashamed or anything, right? Like we're really open minded about this kind of stuff. Tammy even pointed out that your man, Mr. Kinn, was hot, dude. Like, do you take us as homophobic? I thought you knew us better. Dude, this hurts my feelings. I'm gonna cry. My friend thinks I'm homophobic. I'm against the LGBTs. No. How dare he say such insults? That hurt. That hurt. My dude, that hurt. I balked at the mention of Kin. I did not. I do not swing that way, okay? You shithead. I like girls. I like big tits. I like bananas and bobs. Hear me? I snapped. Tem, did you say you think Mr. Kin is hot? Oh, my boss would be. He turned to look at Tam, who furiously waved his hands in the now. No. Look, let's. You know what? Let's go back. Let's go to class. Let's study. Let's actually get educated for once in our life. Let's actually study. I love education. I heart study. I Porsche approved this message. It's about time we go. Bye. I interrupted before Pete could finish his sentence, still pissed off at Kin and his repulsive behavior. Just hearing his name infuriated me. I turned to talk to Pete. And you can have a look around campus or something. I literally could not care less. If you get hungry, the cafeteria's over there. I'll call you when my class is over. Why does your building have so few girls? Pete commented as he looked around. What do you expect from sports science? It's basically like an all-boys school over here. It's such a sausage fest. If you want to check out hot chicks, you need to go to the com arts over there. Like, fucking sissies. John said, gesturing to a building on the other side of the university. Are you sure they're hot? How do I get there? Pete asked, suddenly brimming with enthusiasm. After John gave Pete directions to the communication arts building, we were finally able to head to our classroom. Pete yelled after me, reminding me to call him when I got out of class. I didn't get why Pete had to pester me like this. The injury on my arm wasn't holding me much, since Pete kept waking me up throughout the night to take my pain medicine. I'd insisted he not tell Tim and John what happened to me because I didn't feel like answering their questions. Fortunately, I was able to hide my injury under a long-sleeved shirt. After class. I called Pete after class as promised and told him and told him to return to my building. Jeez, I can't read. Pete looked cheerful, as he got off the university's free shuttle bus. I bet he liked the comrades girls. Typical men. So, how were they? Dumbass. I got 2 girls' numbers. They both got great tits. Pete exclaimed, moving his hand around to give a demonstration of the E-G-D-D oh bye. Boing, boing. Boing, boing. This song? Yeah. Boing, boing. Tim and John excitedly asked if they could see their profile pictures. I even leaned in to take a little sneak peek myself. I hadn't slept with a girl in ages. Maybe it was time for me to go out and find someone to hook up with. My sexual frustration was starting to accumulate. I really needed to let off some steam. My little Porsche needed to get hydrated via oral stimulation. Although I had found a modicum of relief with the aid of a maybe Japanese corn. Nutrients, baby. Get yourself some sweet, delicious ass corn today. Nothing compared to being with a real girl, though. Do you want to go home now? I asked Pete. I can give you a ride. Today I've ridden my motorcycle to school with Pete as my passenger. He had insisted on being the driver at first, but I refused, assuring him that I could handle the bike. Let's grab something to eat at the mall, Pete replied, looking at me with pleading eyes like, please, I don't want to go home. Please, I don't want to go. You really don't want to go. I found that Pete's somewhat childish request. Please, I want some McDonald's, please. Fuck the mall. You can eat at the cafeteria if you're hungry. I said, I want McDonald's. Come on, it's my day off. I want to check out some of the shops too. Pretty please. Please, mommy, I want some McDonald's. I want some McDonald's, please. If he wasn't built like a boxer, I would have beaten him up for whining like that. Yeah, let's go, Tim agreed. I'm hungry too, and I also want some McDonald's. Let's go. I sighed wearily at my friend, who also started whining like a spoiled brat. Eventually, I gave in to their demands, and we headed to the mall to grab some food. McDonald's. McDonald's. Pete and I took my bike while Tim and John went by car. We won, dudes. High five. Yeah. At the mall, I quietly walked behind the 3 of them. I wasn't really a mall guy. Look, I preferred being outdoors. I didn't come here unless I specifically needed to buy something. Going to the mall just to window shop was out of the question, because I cried because every time I look, I don't have money. Shush. But since my friends insisted on coming here, here I was. Here I am. Shoot me, please. What should we get? He asked Tim and John. They saw me lagging behind them. Hey, hurry the fuck up, we're gonna leave you. Pete came over to drag me by the collar so I could keep up their pace. Aren't you glad we finally have time away from that house? No, Mr. Tankun. No, Mr. Kinn. It's a relief, even just for a moment, Pete joked. I agreed with him for the most part, but I preferred heading straight home on my days off. Coming to a place like this is my free time seemed like a waste of energy. Let's eat here. I'm too tired to walk around, I said, pointing at a random restaurant nearby that looked like a decent place. I wasn't familiar with the mall's offerings since I usually ate at my local curry and rice shop. Here's a little note. A curry and rice shop, or Rang Kao King, I did not say that right, is a restaurant that serves a selection of curries and savory dishes over rice. Curry and rice shops are local Thai staples. Oh my god, I'm learning something. Yay! Pete, Tim, and John went to check out the menu on the board in front of the restaurant to decide what to buy. It appeared to be a buffet-style restaurant called Momo Paradise, and served Japanese sukiyaki and hot pot. It cost almost 1,000 baht per person, and I typically only spend 100 baht for lunch, but I decided to just enjoy it considering I was the one who pointed out this place. It's my fault. How dare I have expensive taste? Uh-huh. Pete, why? What are you doing here? Asked a familiar voice. I immediately tensed up and turned around to look at him. Hello, Mr. Kid. What a coincidence! Pete smiled broadly as he greeted his boss, who was also wearing our university uniform. Hey, bruh, what do you do? What small Thailand we live in? I didn't know. Thailand was one solid screen. How did the stars align or whatever? Ken was with three of his friends, whom I vaguely recognized. I looked away and frowned as he approached with a smirk on his face. What are you doing here? Ken repeated. It's my day off, so I asked Porsche if I could visit the university with him. I wanted to check out the college girls, he replied with a chuckle. My friends greeted Ken and his gang with a Y gesture, the Y gesture, considering they were juniors, but I chose not to show them the same respect. I don't respect you. Tay, is this the place you wanted to eat at? Kin turned to ask his friend, who nodded in agreement. I just met my bodyguard here. Let's eat together. My treat. I frowned deeply at him, but my friends quickly thanked him. In unison, thank you for the free food. Those greedy bastards would never turn down free food. Porsche, I love you and all, but I think I'm your friends, cause same. They say free food, and I'm like, yay! I had no desire to spend time with Kin, so I turned to leave, intending to find somewhere else to eat on my own. Where are you going? Kin asked, stepping in my path. None of your fucking business. How about that, bitch? I said, glaring at him. Hey, don't you want to eat with us? John asked. No, but you guys can eat here if you want, I replied, trying not to meet Kin's gaze. Come on, let's all eat together, Kin said casually. It's my treat, you know. His smoked drawl was starting to piss me off. That's why I don't want it, I said with a huff. I didn't know what else Kin would come up with to, rattle my cage, considering I still hadn't figured out his previous actions. I was so fucking tired of his shit. I thought you liked extorting money from me. This time, I'm treating you out of the goodness of my heart with the most expensive course. What do you say? Ken asked, raising his eyebrows slightly as he leaned in close. Are you calling me a sugar baby? The fuck? I quickly took a step backwards, cursing at Ken's penchant for invading my personal space. I won't eat here, I snapped. Come on, Porsche. Let's eat here. Come on, come on, come on. Please, please, please. Please. Pete said, rushing to my side and physically forcing me into the restaurant. I tried to resist him, but there wasn't much I could do. All the eyes in the restaurant turned toward us. As soon as we entered, I blamed it out on Kin. It's all your fault, Kin, and his pretty friends for being too attractive. I wondered what the hell their parents ate that made them have such handsome children. They could practically pass as K-pop idols. Pete kept a firm grip on me as a waitress showed us to our tables. He didn't let go until he successfully pushed me into a seat and sat beside me. Nah, don't even think about it. If you don't sit down and eat properly, I'll trap you here. Pete warned as I tried to get up, lifting his leg and laying it firmly across my lap. I huffed, pushing his leg off me. Get off. He was just too cunning. I have to give up. I had to. Ken took a he, Jesus. Ken took the seat up. Ken took the seat opposite me. Oh, he took the seat opposite to me, while the rest of us filled the remaining available seats. It was pretty straightforward. My friends and I sat on the side of the table, while Ken and his friends sat on the other side. Ken's friends took the menu from the waitress and quickly placed it in order, while Ken alternated between looking down at his phone and glancing at me. I avoided looking at him, doing my best not to pay him any attention. Damn! I was just enjoying a day out with my friends. Why did I have to run into Kern and deal with his bullshit? Did you take your pills today? Ken asked me. I glanced up at Tim and John to see if they had heard any of this, but they were engaged in a lively conversation with Ken's friends. So tits. My good friends. Quality. I didn't know why my friends were so friendly with them today when they had hated them for the day at the market. You're on my side for one day. Damn you traitors. Fuck off. I snapped, bracing my arms tightly over my chest as I leaned back into my seat. Ken smirked triumphantly, as he always did after successfully striking a nerve. What a dick. Order up, the waitress announced, skillfully stacking trays of sliced pork and beef on the table. Our friends promptly grabbed vegetables and tofu, and soon our table was covered with a variety of hot pot ingredients, waiting to be cooked in the rich, dark brown sukiyaki broth. Try some, Ken said, gesturing toward the pot with his chin. Pete added the vegetables to the soup and carefully read the cooking instructions on the paper placement. The soup smelled so good, it made my mouth water. I watched the skin and the others definitely dipped their meat in the soup while Pete and I just sat there awkwardly. Hey, why aren't you eating? Do you not eat beef? Ken asked, putting a piece of cooked meat into my bowl. I have hands, I don't need your help. I scowled at Ken, picking up the slice of beef with chopsticks and placing it in Pete's bowl instead. Pete grinned at me before continuing to munch on his food. I eyed him sideways, another fucking weirdo. Seeing that everyone was busy eating, I decided it was my turn to try dipping the beef into the hot soup. Same thing. Once I'd left it in long enough to cook the meat, I took it out of the pot and started looking for sauce to dip in. But there was none. No sauce? What's the point of inviting me? I looked around the table, wondering if I needed to get my own sauce from the condiment stand, and realized nobody else at the table had dipping sauce either. My eyes widened in shock as I watched them casually dip the cooked meat in raw eggs before eating them. What the hell? How many sukiyakis in with raw egg? Ken explained, using his chopsticks to mix the raw egg in his bowl before handing it to me. Give it a try. The texture isn't too slimy. I'm sure you can swallow it. If you catch my drift. He said suggestively. Pete choked on his food and started coughing. I glanced at him curiously before returning my gaze to Kim. No, I declared, opting to eat the meat without dipping in anything. It already tasted great, so I didn't want to risk upsetting my stomach with raw egg. To be fair with you, neither would I. I get it, but I don't know, maybe it's just it's a culture thing. It's a culture thing. But I'm not gonna judge you if you like it. More raw egg for you. You have all the raw egg if you can afford it with how the economy is. Continuing. Why not? Ken said, placing the bowl of raw egg back in front of himself. Do you like swallowing other slippery things? Because I could give you one of those as well. He persisted in irritating me through our meal, which I found odd. He usually acted stoic and cold. He just wasn't behaving like himself today. Just leave me alone, I replied as I chewed my food, not really paying any attention to what he had just said. This is delicious, he said with his mouth full. I agreed with him. It was so damn tasty that my bad mood started to fade away. I guess this food was expensive for a reason. Do you not eat vegetables at all? Ken asked, noticing that I finished my third tray of beef without touching any greens. No, I replied irritably. What a baby, he snickered. I took a deep breath, trying not to get worked up by his comment. Ken was the type of guy who got more annoying the more I argued back. I decided to ignore him to see if he would shut the fuck up or just, stop harassing me. Do you want to try some mochi? Ken asked. Ooh, mochi. I love mochi. I had no idea why he kept trying to make conversation with me. Stop it. I glanced up at him, annoyed that he wouldn't let me eat a piece. What's mochi? Is it like a dessert? I asked, wondering if he was trying to trick me. I knew that mochi was a famous souvenir sweet you could get from the Nakhon Sawan province. By the way, a little note here. Mochi from Nakhon Sawan province in Thailand is made with wheat flour or cake flour. The typical filling is mung bean paste, but it can also be filled with sesame paste, chocolate, or strawberry jam. I like the one with strawberry jam, just in case anyone was wondering. It is not the same as Japanese mochi made from rice flour. Oh, okay. I tried both actually. I think. Maybe I only tried the Japanese one. Oh, no, wait, I've only tried the Japanese one. Yeah, I want to try the Thai one now. I'm curious. I'm so curious. Yeah. Do. But going back. Mm-mm-mm. Huh? It's not that type of mochi. It's a Japanese rice cake. Here, try it. Ken chuckled, shaking his head in disbelief. He picked the soft dough from the pot and put it on my plate before eating one himself. I looked at him in suspicion, but in the end I took a bite, not bothering to argue with him anymore. It looked interesting enough to try. How is it? It's fine, I replied frankly. It was just some sticky dough boiled in soup. Are you sure it's edible? Kin repeated, looking straight at me. I glared at him, frowning confusion. Yes, it's edible, I snapped, not knowing why he kept asking. If you say so, Ken said with a snicker. What the hell are you getting at? I said, glaring at him before getting back to my meal. I noticed Ken and Pete chuckling with each other. Spored, spor, they were laughing at each other. Those two were probably up to something. Pete kept smirking at me. I wanted to confront him and the man to know what his problem was. He eventually, collected himself and urged me to finish cheating. Ken's family and bodyguards really liked provoking me, even when I was off duty. Pekin! We all turned into Jesus. We all turned to look as a young man came over to our table. He was about the same height as Ken, and just as handsome. Oh. He approached us with a big smile on his face. Hey, Vegas! Ken returned the greeting, his lips lifting into a small smile. The young man pushed his hands together in a wide gesture and greeted Ken's friends as well. Helpy Tay, helpy time, helping you, he said. What's your favorite What's my favorite boy doing here? Tay smiled sweetly at the newcomer, prompt, prompting time to immediately force his boyfriend to turn away. Their behavior was puzzling, but I decided to ignore it, like everything else. I'm meeting some friends over here, said the man Ken called Vegas. I recognized him. He'd been a guest at Ken's house a while ago, the same day I threatened to pop that one kid's eye out. Good memories. What brings you all over here? Are you guys celebrating something? Vegas said, looking at the busy table. His smile broadened when he noticed me. Why? There's no special occasion. We're just here to grab a bite. Have you eaten anything yet? Want to join us? Ken kindly asked his younger cousin. Well, let me sit with you guys for a bit. Vegas said, I'm supposed to be meeting up with some friends here. Ken nodded, shifting in his seat to create some space. As he settled down, Vegas positioned himself across from me. He glanced at me once more, still smiling. It's okay if you want to eat with us first, Ken said. I'm all right, Pekin. I'll just wait for my friends. Vegas replied. He's fortunate it was Mr. Ken he ran into. If it were Mr. Tankun, he'd be drenched in this boiling broth. He'd whisper to me. Why? The major clan and the minor clan are at odds. Mr. Ken is the only one who's friendly with them, Pete explained. No, can I sleep over at your place tonight? Pete said, wait, did I skip a page? I'm confused for a moment. What? I did skip a page. What's wrong with me? So this guy is from the minor clan? Mr. Vegas and Mr. Macau's older brother, the boy you threatened to slap, remember? Yeah, good memories. The best. I nodded vaguely, recalling Ken yelling some sort of accusation that I hurt his family, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. So this was the kid's brother. Okay. Hey, Vega said, interrupting my hushed conversation with Pete. I straightened up, nodded at him slightly without saying anything. Hopefully he wasn't mad about the incident with his younger brother. Ken had cursed at me profusely for threatening Macau, and I figured that Macau's actual brother would be even more pissed. Hey Ken, is this the guy who wanted to smack Macau? Vegas asked. I glanced at them and I saw Ken nodding in affirmation. Vegas turned to me. Why didn't you smack him for real, you bitch? He said, fucking pussy. You should give him an extra slap or two for me. Vegas sounded playful. He was polite, smiling and joking with me without a hint of anger. How is Macau anyway? Ken asked his cousin while adding another piece of boiling mochi into my bowl. You bastard. Why did Ken keep giving me food? He's trying to fatten me up is what he's trying to do. I noticed Vegas silently observing Ken's action, which I found unnerving. That's enough. I'm full, I said, remembering that Ken had said I could speak freely with him, but that I had to be polite to his guests and people from the minor clan. Oh, please, go ahead and eat more. Did I make you uncomfortable? Vegas asked. I shook my head. It felt like there was a glass wall between the three of us and the rest of the group. Ken's friends were chatting away cheerfully with Tim and John, while our section of the table felt tense. Hey, Porsche, I've been meaning to ask you for a while. What happened to your neck? Time asked. Damn it. While staring at my neck, shattering the invisible wall I tried to pretend was actually there, but it wasn't really there. It was no surprise he knew my name. Ken sure yelled at me a lot while his friends were around. Time and I had met on several occasions. He was there when I almost burned Ken's room down. Ah, good times. Traumatizing times. He said the bandages made him look cool. Tim answered for me. A tiny smile appeared on his face, like he thought it was hilarious. He smiled at Tim's answer too, although he was the reason I needed bandages in the first fucking place. He leaned back in the booth, crossing his arms loosely over his chest. I could tell he was stifling a laugh. This is all because of you, you son of a bitch. This is a new trend? Like, is it a new trend? Mew asked. I refused to answer. Ken seemed to be really enjoying himself a little bit too much. I frowned at him before realizing that everyone at the table was looking at us. They must make you look hot, Vega said. Damn it, I read that off of skin. They must make you look hot, I think, Vega said. I hated being the center of attention. I swiftly got up and left the restaurant. Where are you going? Pete yelled after me. I'm done eating, I said bluntly, not looking back. Hey, you can't leave me like this. Please excuse me, Mr. Ken, and thank you for treating me. I heard Pete's voice in the distance before he caught up with me. I headed to my motorcycle without another word. I fired up the engine and Pete quickly hopped on the passenger seat behind me. Pete leaned forward to speak to me as we rode my bike. It's bad manners to leave in a rush like that, Porsche. Whatever, do you want me to drop you off at the house? I asked. No, can I sleep over at your place tonight? Pete said, shaking my shoulders. Let's play some games. I don't want to go back there yet. No, why don't you want to go back to your place? My place is in another province. Come on. I don't want to play the computer games you told me about. I heaved out a sigh. Why did Pete keep begging to follow me around everywhere today? I just wanted to go home and relax. Instead, I had this enormous burden coming home with me. I wondered if Cancun's troublesome behavior was starting to rub off on Pete. How will you get to work tomorrow? I won't wake up early to drive you there, I warned him. I had class tomorrow morning, too. That's okay. I'll take a taxi tomorrow. When we finally made it home, I collapsed on the sofa. Today had left me just as exhausted as days I worked as a bodyguard. I thought I'd get to spend my day off in peace, but I ended up dealing with Kid at the mall instead. Pete entered the living room with my mess and a bottle of water. As soon as he stepped inside my house, he gone straight to the kitchen to raid my refrigerator. At least he was thoughtful enough to bring me my medicine and water. Take your medicine, he said, and let me change that bandage of yours. He opened my backpack without asking for permission and took out the first aid kit. I frowned at him. You don't have to be so considerate, I said, I knew Pete was a nice guy, but he could be a bit much. Just let me help you. He rolled up my sleeve and soaked some cotton balls in rubbing alcohol. I quickly checked the front porch. To my relief, there was no sign of Che's school shoes. I could let Pete help clean my wound and change the bandage without worrying about my little brother seeing me. If Che saw my injuries, I need to give him a very lengthy explanation. Thud, thud, thud. The sound of someone running down the stairs made me shake my arms from Pete's hold and pull down my sleeve. You're back! Wait, what happened? Che Small immediately faltered. I thought my reaction was quick enough, but he had noticed I was hurt. He glared at me accusingly, walking over to stand by my side with his hand on his hip. Pete looked startled, gaping at my brother in confusion as Che rolled up my sleeve. I was clumsy with my weak explanation. I was talking and walking, and some branches cut my arm. I read that this entire night. I didn't even read right. I was clumsy. It was my weak explanation. I was taking a walk, and some branches cut my arm. Stuff happens, stuff. The room went silent, dead silent. Ted continued to glare at me. He was not going to buy some bullshit. I sighed, avoiding making eye contact, pleased with him, and politely looking out the window. Who is this guy? Pete finally asked when he clearly couldn't stand attention any longer. This is my little brother, Porsche. Che, meet Pete. Pete, why, to my little brother, will you? I introduced them, attempting to lighten the mood with a joke, but it didn't seem to work. Hello, he said, giving my brother a little wave. However, Che's sole focus was on me. He was absolutely furious. Damn, that's definitely your brother. He looks exactly like you when he's mad, Pete sighed. Whispered. Heaving a heavy sigh, I turned to Che. I thought you weren't home, I said. I didn't see your school shoes. I'm airing them out of the back of the house. Don't try to change the subject, Hia. Tell me what happened, Che demanded, forcefully, seating himself on the sofa between Pete and me. He pushed my sleeve further up my arm to take a good look at the wound. The next page. Well, a bullet grazed my arm. It's nothing really, I replied, feebly accepting my fate. A bullet? Were you shot? Che shouted. Keep it down, my ears hurt, I said, trying to keep my voice even. Didn't you promise me you wouldn't get hurt? Che protested. I won't let you do this job anymore. I'm fine, I said calmly, not daring to look at Che in the eye. Che kept yelling at me, commanding me to quit the bodyguard gig. He led us to it, opting to sit at the dining table in the kitchen instead. During the gunfire, I'd completely forgotten about my brother. I didn't consider how he would feel if something horrible happened to me. The only thing in my mind was rage. Those men just kept on coming at us, and my anger made me lose control. It was only now that I realized the gravity of the situation, seeing the devastation in Che's eyes. I needed to think before I acted from now on. What a revelation. I was incredibly lucky that I got away with just a grace. If they'd kill me, Che would have dug up my grave just to yell at me. I won't let you stay there. You're going to quit now. Che insisted. I promise you, Che, I won't get hurt next time. I'm so sorry. I whispered to her to face my little brother and gently stroking his hair. Che tightly pursed his lips, but he resumed cleaning my wound for me in place of Pete. I don't believe you. I know something worse is going to happen, Che murmured, his hand trembling as he tended to my injury. Why? Nothing's going to happen, I said. I'll be fine. Che, look at me. Just trust me. Che didn't let up. It was just a graze this time. But what would you do if you get shot for real? I'm tougher than I look, dude. You can't get rid of me that easily. You know that? You know that. I kept trying to assuage his fears, acknowledging that I had made a mistake. I just have a bad feeling about all this. I'm worried for you, brother, Chase said, giving me a stern look, though his eyes remained vulnerable. You're overthinking things, I said, nudging his head. I'm not. I even had a strange dream about it. Jake gripped my arm hard, begging me to believe him. What did you dream about? You were crying? Jay murmured. He looked even more worried, as if he was recalling the image in his head. A guy like me crying? You've been home alone for too long. Your imagination is running wild. I deflected. Jay pursed his lips again, still troubled. Finally he sighed, looking defeated as he gently placed new gauze over my wounds. Please just quit. I'm really worried. My dream was so real. He kept crying, and there was nothing I could do, Chase said, his voice quavering. I hugged him and pulled him into a playful headlock, mussing up his hair. Hey, stop being dramatic, I teased. Aren't you embarrassed acting like this in front of my friend? I glanced at Pete, who waved and smiled brightly, like he was glad we finally noticed him. I was unhappy with myself for making Porsche worry about me again. I wasn't sure what the future had in store, and I understood why my little brother was worried sick. Perhaps Che had the nightmare because he kept dwelling on my dangerous job. He was probably just overthinking it. Dot dot dot. And that is the end of chapter 13 of KinnPorsche. If you guys been liking, enjoying, my reading, you guys can like, comment, subscribe, normal YouTube shenanigans. And yeah, if you guys have not been keeping up to date, there is a playlist. There is a playlist where you can see the first chapters, and yeah, I'm reading other books, so if you're curious on them, they also have their own little playlist. So yeah, that's about it. Have a good day, night, wherever you are, however you are. Bye.